Today's lesson is going to be how to crochet this adorable baby elf hat. It can be adjusted to make it into an adult size. You can make the tail of the hat as long as you want, and the pom-pom is made separate, so you can make the pom-pom as large as you want also. This hat is crocheted in rows, and when we come to the end of the row we have to slip stitch and join it, and this will create this line here. Now I'm not really a fan of the line, so what we can do is crochet it in rounds where we don't slip stitch the end of each row, we just continue on. So if you don't want this line, this can be put at the back of the hat so you can't see it, but if you still don't like it, we can adjust it to fit that as well, and I'll show you how to do that in this video. This is the yarn that I'm going to be using, and I absolutely love this to make baby items. It's beautiful and soft. I'm also going to be using a 4mm or F size hook. First of all, we want to make our slip knot, grabbing our short end, placing it over our long end, creating a P shape. You want to fold down your loop over the long end, grabbing the long end, grabbing both tails and pulling up. Chaining 5. You want to join it to the first chain with a slip stitch. And chaining up 1. We are going to be working into the center of this ring that we just made. We want to do 6 half double crochets into the center ring. So wrapping our yarn around our hook into the middle of our loop that we've created, pulling up a loop. We have 3 on our hook, pulling up a loop and pulling through all 3. That is our half double crochet. I'll show you that again. Wrapping our yarn, going into the loop, wrapping our yarn, pulling up a loop. We have 3 on our hook, wrapping yarn and pulling through all 3. That's 2 stitches made. We want to make 6 in total. We are also going to need a stitch marker. I'm going to be using just an odd piece of wool that we have here. So what we want to do is just putting your stitch marker aside for a second. We want to join our ring now, and we're starting with only 6 stitches. It's going to be quite tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we are just going to half double crochet into the first stitch there. There we go, we have our circle complete. Now if you want to work this in rounds, meaning we don't join it at the end of each row, we just continue crocheting around and around and around. If you want to slip stitch at the end of each round, or the end of each row it is, you need to place your stitch marker on here. And then chain up 2, half double crochet in each stitch around. And when you come back to the beginning, you will need to slip stitch it to join. Now I'll just show you what that looks like. So it's 2, chain 2. Only do this if you want to do it in rows, and the rows will leave you with this line down the back here. We want to half double crochet in each stitch around, so which it should be 6 stitches. 3, and it's going to be quite tight to crochet into as we go along, but you will get used to it. What we want to do is just flip it inside out Okay, so now our next stitch has our stitch marker in it. So this is where we join our row. So it doesn't look any different really, does it? But there is actually a chain stitch here. So you're slip stitching into the top of the chain stitch and then doing our slip stitch. And now we want to move our crochet marker up to our next row. And we will continue that until it is long enough. If you don't want to use a stitch marker and you don't want that line, this is what we're going to do. I'm just going to pull that previous row out. And here I have my first 6 stitches. Let's just check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we are going to just half double crochet into the first stitch, which is here. So half double crocheting into there. And now we don't need to use a stitch marker, and we don't really need to concentrate on how many rows we've done, because we are just going to half double crochet in every stitch. And because we are continuing in a spiral, you really won't come to the end of the row. You won't physically see where the end of the row is. And I personally prefer this way to do things like this, because you don't have to concentrate very much. So it's a good project for when you're talking, you know, if you're going to a group or something, or if you're watching TV and you've got those other distractions. Now I find the easiest way is I'm actually putting my finger in the middle there, and that just kind of opens it up a little bit so I can see where I need to put my stitches. And we just want to continue along. And what you can do with your tail that's here, just poke it down into the middle. You won't have to sew that one in because now it's disappeared. So you just continue along until you have your tail on your beanie as long as you would like it. If it's, sorry, his yarn's splitting. If it's for a baby and you want it to be a long tail, I made that blue one with a tail which was about 30 centimeters or 12 inches long. If it's for an adult, of course you can make it a lot longer if you wish. So I'm just going to continue on, and I will catch up with you when it is long enough.